visible?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. And today I would like to say a few words about the participatory spatial planning and the method, especially for creating community gardens. We had a project within the Horizon 2020 program, which was called Foodship 2030, within which we were establishing community gardens, but also as I was a student organization supervisor for 10 years, we're also engaged in creating community gardens in the city, in Wrocław, in Poland, when our university is established. So also some information about the situation of community gardens in Poland, as well as in Wrocław, and our activities will be presented today by me. And I will start with some short information, who I am and what I am doing. As I already introduced to you, I have some activities that I directed to the community, to doing some change in the spatial structure, in the urban structure, mainly by incorporating some spaces dedicated to given community needs. It could be different communities, it could be school community, it could be senior community, and we were doing such activities within last years. And on the other hand, I am mainly interested in research connected with human impact on the environment assessment, mainly with the use of carbon and ecological footprint. So such two areas could be noted within my expertise. And what is the common issue between these two activities? So in general, the incorporation of these aspects into the spatial planning and management. And as title of today's meeting is the participatory spatial planning, especially in the context of community gardens. We will also verify some actions that we're doing together with our student scientific organization. Mainly we're collaborating or starting collaborating within the spatial economics students, and then also with landscape architecture. And finally, 2 years ago, we went into the collaboration with other universities in Wrocław, Art University, and also Polytechnic one. So also I will provide to you such information, what we've done, in which way, which process we were facilitating to establish a space for given community. And also, as we have some experience and contacts, or we are in touch with some organization in Wrocław, also NGOs that are responsible and taking active part in establishing community gardens in Poland. Also, I will say a few words about these connections, how it went, how it started. And also I will say some few bad experience that we had, some connected with administrative issues, and some of them with a lack of participatory approach. So also such lessons learned will be provided to you during this meeting. So starting with some short introduction for this one of you that doesn't know the issue of community gardens. So what are the community gardens? How they should be established? What are the rules for them, for creating such space? So in general, in Wrocław, we have different spaces. We have open spaces. We have allotments that could be rented from municipality, where you could grow your vegetables, or you could have some regular garden, but sometimes there are such groups of people that doesn't have opportunity to obtain such area, to rent such area. Usually there are big big assignments for such areas, for allotments in Wrocław. So also it is not easy to get such renting from the municipality. So for such reasons, the initiative connected with creating community garden was created. So in general, if we are able to find a group of people that would like to create a common space and to cultivate it depending from the needs of this group, then the community garden is such solution for these needs. And what are the basics for establishing community garden and understanding it? So in general, it's a green space that is organized together and cultivated by given society, by given group, or according to the needs of given groups, because we could have different groups with different needs, with also some disabilities that could reduce the possibility to manage this area. So of course, then such area, such space should be maintained according to possibility of such groups. What is more behind this space? Of course, everyone is invited who would like to be engaged and who would like to do something for this space. Not always is connected with regular maintenance of the garden, but also with some activities connected with this space. We had such examples in Wrocław where seniors were teaching younger groups of doing some jars. In general, in Poland, for autumn and winter season, we are doing a lot of jars with jams or some sour cabbage and so on. So also in this way, such groups, such people could engage and in favor or in turn to use the space created within the community garden. Of course, the space that it's not only dedicated for relaxation, but also for maintaining, for cultivation of some veggies, fruits, but also it could be connected and shared with other groups for some events. It could be a sport activities, it could be some cultural activities, it could be some neighborhood meetings for dedicated to discuss some issues that are necessary or important for such group. For example, in Wrocław, we have community budget where people could vote for some projects. So also for such issues, this space could be used to get in touch, to know each other, and to provide together some project that then could be voted. Then it could win, and also could be realized to make the common space, the neighborhood, a more user-friendly and to increase the quality of life. So what are the principles for creating the community gardens? Of course, always there should be an initiative group, so someone who will set up this space. It could be a group of family, it could be a group of neighbors, it could be also some kind of informal group. So for example, some NGOs, but also it could be some cultural or institutional organizations. We had such example when the senior club or senior space were asking us for providing to them a project and a prototype of the community gardens. So also such different type of groups could meet together and to plan this space according to their needs. Of course, together with the initiative groups, we have the localization. It could be again different types of space. Sometimes it could be some kind of park or square on green areas where such community gardens could be established. Even it could be allotment garden. In Poland, we have such areas dedicated for cultivation of food, for having own gardens, and also on such area could be established a common space within this regard. Of course, it could be some undeveloped spaces within buildings, or it could be even courtyards near the residential areas. So depending from the level of urbanization, level of available free spots for such development. So always in such places could be created community garden. Of course, if we are having the group, we are having the location, so we have to agree on some development of this area. So we have to have in mind some programs. So for which reasons we would like to use this space, how we would like to plan it. If we are planning only to have this space for cultivating veggies or fruits, or we would like to have some extra space for having, for example, educational activities or sport activities, or if we would like to have apiary on this area. So all of this depends from the needs of the community creating this area. Also, it's of course connected with financing. So the budget also has a high impact on the development of this area. Of course, in this regard, we could have some private funds from the people using this space. We had such example in Wrocław where people creating a community garden in the city center were also contributing in the financial way to be a part of this area. And in some ways, some people were, for example, working more if they were not able to be a part of the community garden in this financial reason. Of course, there could be obtained some external funds from municipality. In Wrocław, for example, we have some local programs, as already mentioned by me, community budget, so citizen budget, or even some micro grants for such reasons could be obtained and then used for development of the space. And going further, if we would like to verify what are the principles and the benefits of creating community gardens, so for sure, if you would like to welcome everyone, if we're saying that this place is open to everyone who is willing to be a part of the garden, then it should be adapted to the needs of people with disabilities, sorry, and also for some marginalized groups. Not only people with disabilities could have some problems with using the space, but also some seniors that could use this space, and also that could exchange some knowledge regarding cultivation of the area. Also, the group should include the needs, for example, of some unemployed persons. They also could be actively engaged in the work in the work for this area. What's more important to create such area, for sure there should be organize some meetings to promote the space, to gain more people from the area to know this place, to actively engage in and creating the space. So for such reason could be use such activities like promotion of healthy lifestyle, or connected with some food workshop, like mentioned by me, jars, or even connected with some education regarding the environment. For example, on this area could be even installed some solar-powered lanterns. So what are the types of community gardens? For sure, the main basic that came to our mind when we were thinking about the community gardens, usually there are urban gardens that are typically cultivated, so productive, sometimes with in a bigger scale connected with urban farming. So not only the vegetable garden is appearing here, not only fruits, herbs, and so on, not only apiary, but also some forms of animals like fish or birds. Also, we have gardens that are mainly connected on this uncultivated function. So for meetings mainly, sometimes with some accompanying flower gardens, but also with some educational versions, especially in context of environmental issues like rain gardens. So all elements connected with mainly with uncultivated function. Then we of course have gardens dedicated to education, especially realized close to schools. We have such issue where we have the high school connected with education in the field of cooking. So also for such reasons, these gardens could be used. And the small, or I could say even the smallest version of creation of gardens, so using very small a very small area for creating something that could be used by a community. So accompanying gardens, mainly connected with some supporting grounds close to the buildings. And as I mentioned in the beginning, our project connected with food, the Food Shift 2030. I will start with some examples from our partners. We were doing a project in 9 cities. It was Copenhagen, Berlin, Wrocław, Brasov in Romania, Ostende in Belgium, Avignon in France. We have also Barcelona, Bari, and Athens. And we were learning from our partners how to deal with community gardens, how to establish them. We have the opportunity to discuss different issues, and also to get from them some lessons learned also with these negative aspects. And our main partner for this was Berlin, because in Berlin at that moment, we were starting project in 2020, there was already established 100 community gardens. So they already had the knowledge and the experience that we were able to follow and to discuss some issues appearing during establishing and discussing development of community gardens in Wrocław. You could see that there is also some online map, so I really invite you to verify how it looks now in Berlin. And also I will show you some examples that we're visiting and during our stay in Berlin with our group. So here we could see the Berlin Himmelbelt community garden, one of the 100 mentioned already by me. We could see that mainly in this space we have the main part of the area was designed for cultivating veggies and fruits, but also some elements were created for cooking together, because on this area like on this area here on the back, there's a restaurant where they are cooking together as this group. Also in this place, we could see that there is some small coffee, but also all rules connected with establishing and maintaining the area were appearing here. So all people that they decide to engage and to use the space are responsible for it, and they have to follow the rules that were established by this group. Also some place for education, for some sport activities were planned within this area. Also for people that doesn't have the tools for maintenance, there was also planned such part of the area where they could obtain them and use for their own reason. And also what was nice to see in this area, if people had some surpluses obtained from the plot, they could provide them and provide such information like okay, I'm the person that today has some surpluses. If you would like to get some of them, then you could reach this person and to get like zucchini or some other veggies. What was important in this case, you could see like all of these elements, they are not on the ground directly. They are able to be moved because this community garden was established on undeveloped area, but it was assigned to be residential area in master plan. So this group knew that there could come such time that they will have to take all of the buildings, all of the elements to another area if the developer would like to start the construction on this area. So this is why all the elements were on such movable constructions, so to allow it easily to grab it and to take it to another place. Another example, this time from Poland, from Warsaw. It is called in Polish "Motyka in Słońce," which could be translated as "Hoe in the Sun." This group was also one of our city that we were in touch during the time when in Wrocław we were trying to establish a procedure for creating community gardens in the city. Also, one of our students were a member of this group, so we had the information from the first from this initial group, and as you see, also the same construction as in Berlin we could verify. So the plan for maintaining of the area also assumed some common space where people could gather together. We have some spaces dedicated to cultivation of veggies in different types of pots. We also have some area for common meetings, for watching together movies, or even for some seasonal activities. Like here they have the day of the pumpkin, so they were doing together some culinary activities, but also members of this community garden were taking a part in some activities connected with cultivation, and then the best person was winning the prize for the best pumpkin. So also such activities were planned within this community garden. What was important, they've got a recognition award within European competition. So also good example to be followed and to be engaged in some networking.
And going to Wrocław, one of the most known and well-established was Obin Open Garden, in Polish Obiński Ogród Otwarty. We were collaborating with them. You could see that this is very well planned area, also with some space for common meetings, even some participatory workshop conducted by municipality were realized here on this were conducted here on this area. So one of the best known in Wrocław. Unfortunately, in 2023, it was closed because of the board of this area. So the contract was not extended, and since this time the garden isn't operating, which is pity, because they were very good example of creation, developing, maintaining, developing rules of conducting the garden, and also for obtaining some external funds. And the other example that we could see here, it's Czasoprzestrzeń. This is a community garden created close to the old tram buildings, I could say. So in this place, it's close to Century Hall in Wrocław, and in this case also we have some permaculture activities, and you could see different pots, and each pot has a own supervisor or one group of people that are maintaining this area. They are responsible for it. Even some schools that they're operating close to the area, they are coming for some regular classes and activities to maintain their own pot, to learn how to cultivate some veggies or some flowers, and they have regularly classes on this area. And going from this background, we have also some our experience connected with creating community gardens. As you could see, we started our student activities with students organization in 2020. So also with the start of Foodship 2030 project. First, the students were obtaining some kind of grant from Wrocław Academic Center that is operating close to the president of the Wrocław city, and this grant is dedicated to research and some community activities, I could say, so connected with the social inclusion and also increasing awareness of the neighborhood, of the people living in the city. So in this case, the student decided to create a community garden for seniors. Close to the city center, close to our campus in the city center, and they were trying to do it in a participatory way. And as it was COVID time, we had to decide for some survey that was provided to the members, to the people living in this senior center. So the student decided to do some questionnaire with some basic questions regarding the time spent on this area, how often people are spending time in these two spots of garden. We could see one here and the other from this side. They were also asking about some
elements that should appear according to them in this area. So we could say that this is a very basic questionnaire, but people living in this area, they were feeling included, they were feeling not omitted during this process. So also we were happy that in even such a small and basic way we could get some information from community living there to plan and to develop the area according to their needs. So finally, as the budget was not big for this project, it was 3,000 Polish zloty, so something close to 800 euro, maybe even less. So students decide also to upside some elements that were already available within these two gardens. They were also buying some new greenery that was then planted on this area, and they were all the time in touch with so here you could see what students decide, what they planted, which elements were appearing, even some small additional elements, like here we have some wooden construction with again with plants that were planted to hide a little bit the trashes that were here in this spot. And especially it was important for the seniors, because on one hand they were saying that they don't like this view to go for a short walk or to go outside of the building and to see them in a front, but also they said that they would like to have more order on this place, on this space, to also avoid some problems with moving on this area. So we could say some small solution, but very important for this group. Also, what was planned for them, so some lighting and even such a boxes for grabbing rainwater. Next year, the students decide to go again to do a project, again in a participatory way. This time they were doing construction project and development of community garden for high school, for students that were taught in a group connected with in a cooking classes, so for chefs. So first what they decide, it was again the consultation with a group. This time we had the opportunity to visit the school and to conduct the workshop on a basic map. So it was created in such way that students were able to provide some needs regarding this space. In general, they were referring to lack of places for to sit, to have a lunch, to have a break, especially during some sunny days, but also they were referring to this cooking area, so mainly dedicated for cultivation of veggies that could be then used for the culinary classes. So based on this simple workshop, again, some simple type of participation, our students were creating a project of developing this area. So we could verify that here we have some map with plants there that were planning for this area, but also some other elements like the pots for cultivating veggies, like some benches or some other elements that could allow to cultivate some herbs on this area that were especially necessary for these culinary classes. And having this, so having the meeting, the workshop to get and to gain some information about the needs and about the needs of this community. We had some pictures from so-called before and after, so we could see our group of students that were working on this. The area was maintained and some elements were created by their own to cultivate the veggies on this area. And what is important, as again, the budget was not very high for this realization. This time it was like 4,000 Polish zloty. So again, something close to 800-900 euros. So they also decide to get some funds externally. So they look for it, for example, from the Vineyard, which provided the grapes for them that could be planted here on this area, especially that the school already had some of them on this area from some study visit that they were doing before, and also they obtained from some donation houses for birds. And the one biggest project that I would like to describe now is a project that we were doing in three universities. Our university, so Wrocław University of Environmental and Life Science, and two groups of students. One from the field of study, which is spatial management. The other one is landscape architecture. We also have students from art university and also from polytechnics. And again, the funds were obtained from Wrocław Academic Center. And in general, in March 2023, the Wrocław Academic Center was reaching me as a teacher and person connected with community gardens in Wrocław. So we were the main leader that were responsible especially for providing rules and methods for participatory community garden planning and then for establishing it. Here you could see we have some pictures that were taken during June and July, because the students first were working together starting in May. Then during the summer school organized by Polytechnic, they were developing the project, the final project, and also they were prototyping some of the elements. Here you could see the main element of this garden. Here we have the building again for seniors, and we have the whole project with some pots for plants, for flowers, especially because the seniors using this space, they were assuming that they would like to have a colorful place with different types of flowers. They could be that could appear during different seasons, during different months, and that which will make this garden alive during this time. So all the time something would appear, some colors would appear, and would create it more nicely than it was till this time. There was also planned some path around the building because previously this area was not well maintained, so students decide to propose even such path for some breaks, because the users of this senior center had a regular workshop, but during the breaks they had such a problem that outside it was not well maintained, so they were not able to use it well, or even to do such a small walk on this area. So this is why students planned this path for them to have this moment to walk around and to have some place for playing in bule, and the main construction part was a bench with a plant. but also dedicated to different issues, because previously when they had some exercises, like outdoor exercises, some sport activities, they had to take chairs that were inside the building. They had to go out, they had to exercise, and then again grab the chairs with them and go inside. So for some of them it was a problem, especially connected with some moving problems or with some other issues. So this is why students decided to plan such elements in a garden that would allow them to go outside, to exercise, to do not take the chairs from the building, to have some common meetings, because also they had some kind of therapy there, like the music therapy, or they had some regular meeting with psychologists. So also this space was dedicated and planned with people working there in a center to provide as much options for them for providing therapy as it was possible. The only one issue that was hard for us, it was the neighborhood, because close to this area it was like open area, a small park with no break between these areas, so people from the outside would go inside, and they have such issues when it was demolished by this group. Like sometimes they were even burning some elements. So also we were struggling if this bench or other wooden elements were survived after this realization, but finally it was fine. You will see the prototype and also then the final construction of this bench. So all these issues and the struggles that we had at the beginning, verifying the problems in this area, were not appearing, and the community of this center were also was also happy to use the space and not to struggle with some vandalism. So as you could see, also the students were planning such a bench that would be that wouldn't be comfortable for people from outside, but on the other hand, it would be comfortable for people living in the using the senior center. So they planned a pillow that the seniors could grab with them going outside, and to using the bench for sport exercise or for therapy that they had that they had planned within the daily routine. So it was planned well, and it worked also well for this group living there, using this space, but also minimizing the issues connected with vandalism, and also with some people using the space after working hours. Sometimes they had such situation that someone was sleeping there on this area, so they had some homeless people also. So they would like to avoid this situation and just leave the space for the seniors using the senior center. So how it works, you could see here we have the prototype that was created by the students. You could see that there is such a part of it. So in general, it's starting with a pot. Then we have the bench, so place for sitting, and again we have the pot. From the back side, there's also planted pots for flowers, especially, and for growing some of plants on this area. So in general, the main issue was to allow to have the meeting place, to have the space for activity like the sport one, but also for these therapy issues. You could see that here at the stage of the prototyping, the students were inviting the seniors for testing the bench. So even such small elements as we could see here were added for seniors that they were not so high, or they had some problems with moving. So even in such small issues, we were able to update the bench according to the needs of this group of people, and they were also happy that their voice was listened, and that the creation, the project were created according to their needs and the elements that they were introducing. So what were the next steps? You could see that starting from March 2023, in October 2023, we were planting some plants for this prototype of the bench. So again, our students from 3 different universities were taking part in this event. So together with seniors, together with employees of this center, we were maintaining this to verify what would happen with this prototype, if it would be, for example, burned by people from outside, or it will survive and it will be fine. As you already know, the final outcome was very positive, so nothing bad happened with this bench. And as already could see, the construction is not very comfortable for people from outside. So also the pillows planted by the students were making it more comfortable for the users. So also, again, this issue connected with minimizing the possible intervention from outside. You could see that there is no division between the space of this center. Here outside, we could verify there is this public park where usually a lot of vandalism was happening. And what's more, in 2024, the December, finally the whole construction of the bench was realized. So we had the final meeting. We were verifying how it looks like. Also, we had the meeting with the seniors, so they were also again referring to the issue that their voices were heard, and that all or the main idea that they were asking for was heard. So here we could see this bench, how it looks like finally, because also the construction required someone who was qualified, someone who will include and incorporate all requirements for such construction. So also the municipality required more time first to do the public procurement, to well describe this public procurement for this bench. We're of course helping them within this with this issue, and finally to provide it to the municipality. So also the issue with the transportation was not the easiest one, because it was the big construction. So even at the stage of prototyping, providing prototype to the area of the center was problematic. But as you could see, everything went very well. But for the final opening of the area came time in May this year. You could see how it looks like. You could see that the seniors were created the pillows to make it more comfortable, and as we know from the tutors working with the seniors in this center, they also have the private or internal tailoring classes. So seniors were also creating them during such workshops. So also it was they work to make this space more comfortable for them. And going further, so having this experience and these examples from our other partners, we could go to the issue connected with basics of participatory spatial planning, because I already mentioned the issue of including the voice of the community is very important, mainly because of the issue of adaptation of this area to their needs. As you see, we had such meetings with them. We made some interview. We made some survey with the seniors to get as much as it was possible of the feedback regarding their needs, regarding the problems, to make the construction adjusted to appearing problem of vandalism in this area. Also, this participatory approach allowed us to make sense of shared responsibility. So especially this community, they feel that this solution is theirs, so they could actively be engaged in creation and maintenance of the area. We know from the seniors that they would like to have such pots to do some small garden works in this bench that was planted together with the pots. What's more, for sure, if we're engaging the community, we know that we are increasing the chance for acceptation of this project, and we know, like from this group, especially from the seniors, from the biggest project, that for them it was very important that they were able to provide to us some voice regarding their needs, that it was incorporating to the project, that they had this possibility to verify this construction at the level of prototyping. So also for them it was then more acceptable in this area. What's more, so for sure we are able to minimize the possible waste of this project, because if we are not including the voice of people, there could be such situation that it wouldn't be used, it wouldn't be treated well, it wouldn't be maintained by this community. So also the work of the students could be wasted, but also the funds that are behind this creation of the construction, or even of the whole project. So going further, if we know that the process of participation is necessary to have a success in incorporating such project, so there came into the mind issue about the groups that should be participating in this process. So of course, if we are doing project on a bigger scale, we have to refer to all the groups, like the residents and especially the user of the space. So all the time, as you noticed, we were asking people using given space about their opinions, about their needs, about their preferences, about the biggest problems connected with this area. Of course, we were collaborating also with the local institutions and organizations, for example, with this academic center that is operating close to the president of the city. Of course, with the welfare center in Wrocław, because this senior center is operating within the welfare center funds also. Again, if we have some owners of the area, like in the case of Berlin, we have to collaborate and collaborate with these groups. Again, some specialists and experts to plan the area. In our case, especially in this last project that I was presenting, we were having a lot of workshop, a lot of webinars with some experts. We have, for example, event with a person responsible or with experience regarding the minimizing of vandalism by the planning greenery in the area. So how to avoid and how to make more safe the area through the greenery development and maintenance. So also such issues, such elements, students incorporated into the project. We are also collaborating with psychologists for this project to get in touch with the group of the seniors to make the best and plan in the best way the interviews or other actions that were planned to get as much as possible input for the project realization. And of course, again, the issue that was already mentioned, so the collaboration with vulnerable groups, especially elderly people or people with disabilities. We have included such integration of them into the participatory process. And going further, some of the methods I already mentioned for optimal spatial planning, for planning of the area, for participatory process. So what is the most important issue? So first, always we have to verify and to gather information about the community that is around. So in the closest neighborhood, usually we define it as 200 meters around the created area. So we could verify what is happening around, what's happening in the neighborhood. Like the mentioned example with the vandalism close to the senior center. So we could verify which groups of age do we have and for whom we are planning this space. And going further, also and always we have to verify the ownership of the area. So the case of the Berlin, for example, where we knew that the owner of the plot was the developer and that they had some temporal possibility of maintaining the community garden. So they knew at the stage of establishing it that there could come time when they will have to move with the whole constructions that they were creating during this time. And also, for sure, if we know the group that we are working with, we know the neighborhood, the closest neighborhood, we know the problems, then we have to go and identify the needs of this of the users of this space. So as I already mentioned, the basic could be such a short survey with some small and basic like questions regarding the space, or even the basic map that could be used as a base for input for developing of the space, for proposing something. So again, basic stuff that's providing very important and valuable input for developing of the space. The next issue, the next stage is of course prototyping and testing the solutions with the space users, as we've done within our last project. Small actions again, but for sure very important for the group of users, especially for these ones that are marginalized in some way. They feel included and they feel a part of the process connected with developing the community garden. And of course, one of the issues that could be tricky a little bit for us, because as we know, as much people, as much opinion, so also different visions could appear. Sometimes some of them could be excluding each other. The main important issue is connected with the combining these needs and these visions, especially that also the experts or the students, they also have some knowledge and vision for this space. So the most tricky stage is the combination of these needs and visions to make the best project that would include all the needs, that will include all the problems around this space, and that finally will be accepted by all users of this area. And going finally to the end, we are coming to the conclusion. What could be the effect of a lack of community involvement in the context of community garden? As I already told you, I also have such experience. 10 years ago, we were doing as a students then a project connected with creation of community gardens within some group of students, and also on the invitation of the municipality it's not super close to Wrocław, it's like 100 kilometers from Wrocław. So we were spending a lot of time for inventarization, for knowing this space, for planning some solutions for this area, for obtaining some funds, because mainly this project was realized based on the external funds, obtaining some materials, for example, or engaging some services in the city, or even engaging some local community people from neighborhood. The idea was in general good, because we would like to provide something for the community. We were obtaining a lot of external funds. A lot of work was done for it, especially with the verification of the area, the condition of the area, the condition of the ground, and so on and so on. But at the end, as you could see, I think the figure, it's 4 years later. So in general, the space was not accepted by the community, even though we had the opening meeting for them. We had the meeting with the mayor of the city. The people knew that this space is open for them, and that they could use it for meetings, for recreation, just for resting, and so on. But people were not using it. They didn't accept it. They were feeling like it's more like some kind of art installation, so not some space dedicated for them to use. So we know that this issue connected with the participatory is important, and that the idea that is also spreading Margaret Wilkinson from the Planning for Real methods, nothing about us without us. It's a clue for having a good project, for having a project that is accepted, for a project that is included not only the conditions, that the problems, the condition of grounds, and so on, but mainly the voice of this community is important to finalize a good project and to do a good realization. And finally, why this word for the conclusion, for the summary. So in general, we could say that the basic for us for planning such space is inclusion of the community as a partner, because they are not only the recipient of the project, they are the ones who are using the space, and also this increased the acceptance of the space. We know that the space is dedicated for their needs, even with some smallest element that could be planned within some solution. We know that the space comes alive. We saw before the example when the space was created, developed, when a lot of work was done for creating the space, but with no acceptance of the society. So finally this space, we could say, even died. So was not used by the community at all, was not accepted. So this is why we need it. The other issue is, of course, the financial one. So we know that if we are engaging the community, especially at the stage of preparing a project, at the stage of prototyping, we know that we are able to update the prototype, the project, the solution according to the needs of this group, even the smallest elements. So we are also reducing the cost of potential correction of it. So there is no need for more upgrade if the community is included in this process. And finally, we also have an impact on development of local identity. So we know that some elements could be introduced to emphasize the character of this place and this community. So, for example, this place for playing in Bule, it was also important for this group. They had the championship in playing in this game, so they knew that it would be a very important element, one after this bench that was the main element for the garden. And thank you for the attention. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. Apologies, I got the time completely wrong. And I made sure I was in time for 1:30. In the meantime, it was 12:30 my time instead of 1:30. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Hello. I think the presentation has been elaborated very well. For me personally, he also wanted to, get an understanding of how community gardens are done and, interest in EU Green. I think it's been very well elaborated for me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to actually be here and learn. So thank you so much for that. I think I don't really have any questions at the moment.
Okay. Thank you so much. I was trying not to provide too much information. I was trying more to focus on the examples that we had. The one good one, the one that was not accepted, I could say. So this is also why it appeared here for the presentation, to know that this voice of the community is important, because if it wouldn't happen, then we are losing our time, we are losing the energy of the team, and also we are losing or wasting some funds that are used for creating this space. So also lesson learned for me and for our next projects. As you could see, all the time we're trying to engage community, even in some small aspect, especially when we have this first community garden created for seniors living here close to the university. It was also the hard time, as I mentioned, so it was the COVID time, so we have to collaborate with nuns that were working there in this senior house. So they were gathered from us the survey. Then it was on the quarantine. Then provided to the seniors, and finally we were getting it back to do the project and to plan some activities. So even in such small engagement issues, we could verify what is important for the community, and for them it's a lot. Sometimes it's like 10% or 20% to the project, to do it, to plan it, to realize it then, but for them it's like super important. They feel like they had like 100 engagement in the project. So especially for such vulnerable group, I truly recommend to do such even such basic things like survey, interviews, maps, and so on.
If there are no questions, I would like to personally thank you, Małgorzata, for this masterclass. It was for me, as someone who is like totally like out of the topic, it was very interesting, and thank you very, very much for joining us today and for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you so much. And if any one of you will have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. My email, I think, is the same like other people from Wrocław University of Environmental Life Science. Maybe I will type it also here. I already know that someone of you reached me, so I text back. So if anyone else will have questions, please just reach me by email.
Yes. Good evening. Yeah, I have one question. Yeah. Thank you for the presentation. And it's a curiosity if it is easy to know the property and owner of these spaces, or if it is it could be a problem, the big problem to start the initiative. So okay. People find a spot, garden, green spaces, but maybe the problem is to define the property, the owner, and so this is the question. Okay. Thank you.
So in general, in Wrocław, we have very good geoportal dedicated and easily available for people living here in the city. So we have different types of maps. One of them is the map connected with ownership. So if you know the localization, you could easily go and you could verify who owns the plot. And then to, for example, contact municipality to establish such a garden, or to verify from them who is the final owner, because of course we have the general information like the municipality, like is the private one. So then such group could verify who is the owner, and for example, like in case in Berlin, contact the developer to verify if there is a chance even for a temporary community garden establishment.
Okay, thank you. Because maybe in the city there are a lot of informal green spaces that like in the corner or along the street. So
yeah, sometimes they are also appearing. Even during the COVID, people were creating such a small places for cultivating veggies close to their buildings or close to some pockets park, I could say. So yes, so they were even doing such informal activities just to have some common space and to do something together, to cultivate something together. So yes, also such informal activities are happening in the city.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so if there are no any questions, I would like once again thanks Małgorzata for today's masterclass, and see you all a very good afternoon, because it's almost 3 p.m. in Poland, and have a nice rest of the day. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Bye.